So thank you very much, everyone, for taking time on this Saturday morning to kick things off. My name is Mark Fulmer. I am the Shape America Midwest District Director, and joining me in this is Becky Fulmer. Becky is a retired professional and currently serves in leadership roles within IAFERD, which is the Illinois State Association, as well as with the Shape Midwest Leadership Council. And we also have with us Sasha Taylor, who really is the star here for today's program. Sasha is from Bell Creek Intermediate, and she also serves in leadership roles in OAFERD, Ohio State Association. She serves as their Health Moves Minds coordinator and also is community relations coordinator. And we are all here because of one common denominator here, which is Health Moves Minds. I would be remiss if I didn't recognize Shape America's Health Moves Minds team. Stephanie Jumps, really supportive of this whole program and this particular day for us. We thank their HMM team as well as Stephanie. We really appreciate that. Just a couple of housekeeping rules here, so to speak. This is being recorded. And if you have any questions during the session, please feel free to post those in the chat box. We will be monitoring that. And our goal is to hopefully have some time at the end here where if you do have additional questions, you can unmute yourself and be able to ask those. Again, we're here with one common purpose here, and that is the Health Moves Minds program. We're all very excited about it. We are very supportive. I am a big proponent. We're all big proponents of this program. And I think what we need to understand is, at least my experience is, there is no other program out there that rewards the people that are actually doing the work, you, the professionals. This program is also very supportive of our health and physical education programs, our schools, but most importantly, very supportive of our students. And that's really key. So I think we should just really jump right in. And Becky, if you want to move forward with this, that'd be great.
Yeah, on this screen, you guys will see a QR code for this presentation and also the bit.ly link. That bit.ly link is case sensitive. So if you do use that to get to the resources that we're going to be sharing today, do make sure that you capitalize Midwest and then HMM is lowercase, and you can access that. We'll also put this up at the end and put it in the chat box at the end if you need it at that time. As Mark said, we really want to just jump right in here and get rolling with the presentation and have you guys be able to start really thinking about this program and what it has to offer for you. You know, a lot of times when we think about anything we're going to do, we always think of how, what, why. But in reality, we should really reverse that because the why is really the most important piece. So one of the things we want to ask you guys to do today while we're presenting is really think about your why. We know that most of you are here because the title of the presentation related to fundraising. So we know that that's part of your why, but we also have a lot of additional whys. And we want you guys to really be thinking about those as we go through the presentation. So what is your purpose? Why do you really want to get involved with Health Moves Minds? And then Sasha is especially going to help you guys a lot with the how part of the process. How do you actually accomplish these things? How did she go about doing it? And how was she incredibly successful? And then she'll also tell you about what kind of results she's had from the program. And it'll give you guys a little bit of an idea about that as well. The very first thing we have to start with is Shape America's why. Why did Shape America create the Health Moves Minds program in the first place? And you can see here the two main reasons. Shape America created it because we believe in building a kinder, healthier future for our nation's youth. And we believe in supporting health literacy and physical literacy to promote the social emotional well-being of our kids. Guys, it could not be any more clear why this is so crucial given these last couple of years. Obviously, we all have seen the tremendous toll that everything has taken on all of us, including our kids. So this is certainly a timely program, given the fact that we've all come to recognize without a doubt how crucial our social emotional wellness is for our children. And Sasha is going to take it away now with a little more information.
Thank you. Well, as Karen just mentioned, Becky, when you first read that, well, kindness, physical literacy, health literacy, of course, I wanted those things for my class as I was reading what is Health Moves Minds about. But I actually found a lot more benefits that really became my why to continue over the last 4 years. So the kindness culture is huge for me. And of course, our school was starting to lean into the SEL concept. Another thing was I just loved how I didn't have to take lessons out of my curriculum, out of my year plan. We do a parachute lesson. Well, Health Moves Minds has a parachute lesson. So I would just teach that lesson with a new twist on it to include all of the SEL concepts and the Health Moves Minds program inspiration. And the kids didn't have to say, hey, well, why didn't we do the parachute this year? So that was a huge why that I really loved the lessons that I got from Health Moves Minds. The other bullet points that you see, of course, it matched my PBIS program. One of the key words in Health Moves Minds is respectful listening. And respect was one of our 4 pillars. So even just using the word listening, from show me respect or show me respectful listening, that made an impact on my program. And it was just a word change that I got from the Health Moves Minds curriculum. And of course, the funding with the financial support for our state and national associations was in the back of my head as a professional. And this program definitely thinks about you as a professional with supporting those organizations. So I have many whys, but this was just kind of a bullet list of my top ones. This screen breaks down the concepts, and like you'll see under the K5, the red box, the respectful listening is down further on the list. So that's just one example, but these, our program touches on all of these, K through 12. And right now it's divided up into the 3 grade bands, but our lessons are actually 4 grade bands. We have a K to 2, 3 to 5, 6 to 8, and 9 to 12. And the nice thing about it is, the first year we're all beginners. So you can have inspiration from any grade band. But as you continue the program year after year, there is a sequential learning to it that you start with, the red box concepts and move into the green middle school, or if you call it a junior high concept, and then progress to the high school concepts. So it is very much laid out with thought and purpose, and you can read the specifics here on the screen for the details. But the whole program starts with kindness, mindfulness, empowerment, advocacy. Those would be the first 4 that I would touch on, but then we do get more specific.
Now, over the summer, Kentucky Shape offered a Health Moves Minds Summit. And one of the things that was really hit home for me was this is an administrator, specifically a principal from the state of North Carolina, that attended the Health Moves Minds event. And it was so important to her to share her story and the culture change she saw within her school, that this really had a huge impact on me. To hear that story from an administrator's standpoint was just really a supportive move on their part, on her part specifically. So if we can play that clip, please.
Just a very short clip.
When we got into Health Moves Minds, it changed everything. Like, it was a culture building activity from the inside out. It became a part of everything that we did. We had the sticky notes all over the windows with kindness messages that were written and put up all throughout the day for several weeks. Our students selected the charitable organization that they wanted to give back to, and they chose the Humane Society, and I'm a huge animal lover, so that really was awesome for me. But it was the kids that designed what Health Moves Minds was going to look like in our school.
And that's really crucial, that idea that the kids are so involved with making the decisions for the program.
So Becky and Sasha shared a little bit about the part one why, so to speak, but I really want to emphasize the following points. This is one of those fundraisers that has great impact for you and your program, the person, the professional who's actually doing the program, organizing it and planning it. That's really important, in my opinion. It also opens up the opportunity for you to support another charity. I really like the concept or idea of supporting your own school's PTO or PTA. That has a great advocacy piece there when you think about that. And then finally, this program supports not only your program, but it supports your state association, as well as Shape America, the national organization. And we have to remember, both of those organizations have a huge impact on our students and our program, because they're that big entity out there advocating for our profession, for health and physical education. And in the long run, that benefits our program and our students.
So this slide is just briefly describing from a whole picture concept of how I run Health Moves Minds at my school. BCI stands for Bell Creek Intermediate. And I have included 4 different things that it might inspire you to do at your school. In the big picture, a broad thing that I do for 3 weeks long is the kindness challenge that you see in the top right. And this is posted also in different places that you feel free to use if you'd like it. It is an active link, I believe, as well. But each day the child can choose one way to demonstrate kindness, and they log it at the bottom. And after 3 weeks, they turn in the paper for a raffle ticket for a prize. If somebody doesn't start off right away, maybe they were absent and didn't hear the kickoff celebration information to start my event, they can always join in because I have weekly themes also. So on the bottom left, I have my 3 weekly themes. They also correspond with Spirit Days. So this year I chose Powered by Kindness, which was the universal Health Moves Minds theme this year. And that's when we have teachers nominate kids who are demonstrating kindness in many ways and often. The second week, we focus on secret agents of kindness. And that's like, kids could be the little spies in their class. If they notice kind acts happening, they can report it. And then the third week was, because of the Winter Olympics this year, it's themed off of the Kindness Olympics based on that. And there are also, you could think of your own, but Health Moves Minds in the lesson plans gives you tons of ideas, like the Cooperative shoe tying challenge, where 2 students tie one shoe with one hand each, if you can imagine that. And so that's what I do week by week. And I hand out stickers. I, recognize students in newsletters to their parents, things like that. So they could participate in a small way or a big way, long-term way, I should say. The upper left picture that says Have a Mindful Monday. This is an example of a Google Slides presentation that I pick out slides to show in the daily cafeteria. There's a slideshow that scrolls through while they're eating. And so that just is helpful for student communication. Feel free to use any of the slides that you might be able to use for your school, and just, they're editable. You can retype what you want. And I will recognize students in some of the slides, or I will focus on a Health Moves Minds concept, just to reiterate to the kids and keep them engaged, because I only see my students once every 4 days, and then not including the weekends, of course. So most times once a week, occasionally twice a week. In the bottom, I have collect donations for a charity. Our school does the 25% money for us and 25% donating to a charity for our funds. And we, you get a lot of choices from Gopher. I just want to give them a little plug here. There's a picture here I got off the website. It's a 9 square in the air, and that's just what my example is. That was our goal for our school goal. If we raise 10,000, that would, I'm kind of budgeting based on the money that Shape America gives back to our school. We have enough money to purchase one of those for our PE classes and school as a whole. So I always tell the kids, or give them a picture of where the money goes, like what will we be buying with our funds that we get back. And then it just helps with the whole, pay it forward part, because it's reminding them, okay, we're giving to a charity and this is what's going to our school. And they can clearly, you can hear the kids talking, and they can actually tell that to their parents. They can remind their parents about that too. So it's all part of the service learning part of Health Moves Minds. I choose to do it with the fundraising. You might choose just to do the lesson plans. That's your option, and that's one of the huge benefits of Health Moves Minds, is to have that option. Thanks. On the next slide.
Sasha, in the chat, I just wanted to share with you that Patty said, fabulous theme weeks. I love the secret agents of kindness.
Thanks, Patty. This is regarding the lessons. I just kind of got a couple snippets of some videos. The bottom 3 are examples of one particular lesson where students greet each other. So, of course, COVID impacted many of our lessons. The first box with the one girl on her back, the other girl's piggyback style, is an example of a greeting that they formed themselves. They memorized, they practiced, and this was pre-COVID. So please show this. And that was just showing their little creativity. It was, the kids got a kick out of, oh, we get to create our own, and it has parts, and we had to practice. And so they had that responsibility and engagement that they want to memorize it, so they don't have to talk to each other while they're doing it. The other 2 boxes are a larger group. I did it in 4s when we had COVID. Go ahead. You can obviously see that the kids are masked. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. And then we're in a square. If you have it's the fastest actions was the way that we handled it that way. And the third option is similar as well. As different groups got creative, they kind of fed off each other and got more active in their greetings as well, which is always a huge plus. The top left is a picture of my halted lesson, which gets the kids aware of reasons why they might be acting a certain way, which is very eye-opening for kids. And I now have kids telling me, like, my 3rd period of the day is right before lunch, and they'll say, Miss Taylor, I'm really hungry. And because that's one of the letters from the word halted of why they might be reacting quickly or harshly to a kid. And so it's just kind of giving them language to describe their emotions. It's sat on top of a slide that is usually blank. And it says, today I choose kindness by, and there would be a big white space. So you might choose to use this as an exit ticket. We do it verbally. This year, we're not handing out clipboards and pencils in PE class. So we just do it verbally. They sit on their spot. I actually follow it, a few weeks we practice the mindful minute, and then we add the kindness minute, the kindful minute. And they're just planning a way to give kindness. And then they're also saying kind words to themselves as a motivation kind of strategy. So that's one of my favorites. And then, of course, the parachute, a favorite of the kids. And I found that the very first year I did Health Moves Minds, the student that's the close-up version I was right next to him under the parachute and captured this picture on my cell phone. He's in a pull-out autistic unit in our school that comes into another homeroom for physical education. And some days he was there and some days he wasn't. And when he was, he could participate. He has that capability, and the students love him and include him, of course. But I didn't always have the buy-in from the teaching staff of that unit. And of course, they have a lot going on, and respectfully, I appreciate that. But when we did that lesson and I was able to send that picture to the parents and the teachers, they had perfect attendance for the rest of the year in physical education, which it's an advocacy tool, not only to the parents, but also to your staff in your building. So I had to include that picture too. This is a glimpse of my family night. You can choose to do a family night or not. Some people hold their event during the school day. So this is pre-COVID, but they came in, the school was decorated. We had photo opportunities in the hallway. We chose an obstacle course. It was a short conversation with my students. We had long time then jump rope for Heart School. And I was talking to the students about the Health Moves Minds program coming up, and they couldn't really say it at first. Moves, health, mind, health, moves, minds. They get it backwards. And so, I said, it's very similar. Both programs raise money for a good cause. Both programs, we learn about our health. This program lets us choose our charity. This program, Health Moves Minds, lets us choose our theme. And I said, has anybody heard or seen the TV show American Ninja Warrior? And hands go up. And I said, we're going to have an obstacle course, and that's going to be our theme this year. And we'll practice in PE, and we'll invite the parents in to see in the evenings. And in a matter of 2 to 3 minutes, their mindset had changed to Health Moves Minds. Yay, I want to do it. This is coming. I mean, it was just, it clicked with them much easier than I ever expected. And the little paper on the bottom right is a ticket they got. It's like a quarter sheet of paper, and they would take that around when they came into the family night and visit different parts of our school building. So we really did make it a whole school event, including our guidance counselor, our school nurse, our librarian had the book fair going, which is also a big draw to our building. She said that was her highest total for book fair, as well as, of course, we were raising money for Health Moves Minds as well. But together, it was a huge success at our building. So that's just one example of how you might structure yours. Again, you might choose to do this or you might not. Totally up to you. This is just a page where I included some pictures from the obstacle course. A picture, I got my haircut as the school incentive that year. It's outside in the courtyard due to COVID. And then the very first year, we purchased flexible seating. And you might not think of that as a PE equipment piece, but Gopher has other catalogs that you may use your gift cards in. And it was a huge, a really great, unintended, likable concept to get my principal on board, is that, hey, we could you know, our first year, this is a need for our school, let's spend the money in this way. So if Becky, if you could play the video, please, at the bottom in the square. This is just a capture of our family night. This was a highlight video I made to show my school board post family night. it does go on a little farther. I asked them to stop that. It just has lots more kids having fun at the obstacle course, but it gave you a little bit of an idea of how the whole school was involved with the decorations, and the theme was inspired by the book fair jungle theme. And so Kindness is a Jungle, Explore It was the theme that we came up for Health Moves Minds that year, locally in our school building. So you can see the full video if you'd like on another time. Another reference I have for you at another time is at the top. It's a Shape America blog that I wrote. If you would like to start a kindness movement at your school, that link is still active on the Shape America website. And then the second link is an example of a school reward. I cut my hair. Obviously, not everybody has long hair, but it's just a way that I was able to add an incentive for the students to in the fundraising portion. And then the third line down is a bit.ly link that I created, which I found really helpful. And if you don't mind clicking on this, this was just a quick, easy link that I could give to all my homeroom teachers to send out in newsletters. The principal had it, and it was a huge communication tool for the parents. So I gave all the links at the beginning of how to sign up, information about Health Moves Minds, and then I kept the parents engaged with the updates on the second and third page about what was actually going on. So I do want to just say a little disclaimer. You're welcome to use any of this, or just simply the idea of having a bit.ly link for communication. But if you are to go in and read the fine details on that, this year was a pilot school within the Health Moves Minds program to test envelopes, and that is not nationwide. We are piloting that, and the decision has not been yet released for next year. So I do mention a donation window, but I have directions for them to do it online, which is a real easy website the parents can handle. I gave directions even with or without the directions. It does link to Facebook, which is convenient, but I also mentioned donation envelopes. So just, you would have to, hold on that thought. But I found it as a great tool for me as the coordinator communicating to parents. And the last page, you can see at a different time. And I don't need to take time today, but the Sasha Taylor's Health Moves Minds links is just a recap of my program, and some of the links you might feel free to use. It can kind of refresh your memory after this presentation as well. And my last slide here is just to remind you that it is a whole school, whole community, whole child concept, which is what I didn't know I was missing that in the past. Kids, we would have events in PE, lessons in PE, and then once they left, the event was over. But this really does have a lasting impact in many ways, and the whole school, whole community brings that out and has the endless possibilities for you.
So what we'd like to do now is just to give you some tools that hopefully can help you if you would like to pursue an event. The first link that's the most important link really is this one right here. Again, it is a bit.ly link, so it's case sensitive. We'll put this in the chat when we're finished, but you can choose to fill this out, and we would really like for all of you to fill this out to let Shape America know that you are interested in doing an event. What you will notice on the interest form is it's going to ask you whether or not you're interested in being an SEL educator or whether you are interested in being a team champion. Because you are here and we would assume that you are interested in the fundraising portion, you would want to choose team champion. That way you will get the information related to being a team champion, and that will connect you to Stephanie. So that is your very first major networking opportunity to grab Stephanie as your go-to person with any questions that you might have about Health Moves Minds. The first tool we have here for you is this tool right here. This tool was created by teachers in Kentucky, Missouri, and Illinois. We worked very hard this summer together to try to put something together for you that could help you think this through prior to you going to your principal. So very quickly, I'm just going to show you what's in this form. We all know that from being educators, we know that the most crucial thing to getting your administrator to buy in is making sure that you have a good sense and a good plan for what you want to do before you ever go through that door to talk to him or her about it. So we wanted to create something that gave you a chance to really think it through and have a good concept of what you wanted to do before you go speak with your principal. So on this form, you'll see in the upper right corner, you'll see use templates. So if you did want to use this form to kind of think things through, it can all be filled out digitally. So it's kind of nice, no printing required. You just click use template and you'll be able to fill it out. But what you'll notice is first that interest form link that I have over on the slide. You'll also notice a justification toolkit link, and this is really great to review to give you guys that thought process again of some of the things that you might want to say or take to your principal. There are things that you can print there, lots and lots of information, so well worth your time. Then you kind of get into the nitty-gritty of thinking through, what do you think you'd want to do with your event? Do you think you would want to and need to keep all the money for your program? A lot of times when people start out with Health Moves Minds, the first year or two, they do choose to keep all of the money for their program because one of the reasons they're doing it is because they need money for equipment and so on. If you do choose to keep the 50%, you'll get 50% plus Gopher gives you an extra 10%. And you will get that in Gopher gift cards. And we'll talk a little bit more about the options for purchasing in a minute. The second option you have is the option that Sasha was talking about, where you can actually choose to share it with another organization, something near and dear to your heart, whatever that might happen to be. I personally love the idea of doing your PTO or PTA if they're a 501c3, because it just seems like a perfect, collaboration, and it will get your PTO involved in really supporting and promoting the program. So to me, that seems like an easy way to get things going in your school. The next thing we have here is just a little bit of opportunity to think through, well, let's see, about how much money would I like to have be my goal? And of course, usually your first year, you're always going to set it lower because you want to be able to reach that goal, which makes perfect sense. And then that concept of what are you raising funds to purchase money for? I really feel that this is very, very important to think about, what do you want to buy with that money? Like Sasha mentioned, the 9 square in the air is what they're going for this year. I've heard of people saying they're going to purchase a traverse wall. And it doesn't even have to be a single piece of equipment. It could be like, I want to do a wheeled unit. So I want to buy a bunch of different things where kids can move on wheels. And so you're going to do a whole unit. But the cool thing is the kids know that they have been a part of bringing that to future classes. And the motivation factor goes through the roof when they know what they're actually working for. So I think personally think that's really, really important. Obviously thinking about your dates. And then what we tried to do here is give you guys some example. And Angela happens to be on the call here. Angela was the one who had the move-a-thon idea. It's a fantastic way to just dive right in. Very, very easy to do. The kids are doing all their movement outside of school. And they're just keeping track of what kinds of movement they're doing. And that's the event. And that's what they ask folks and their families and so on to donate for them to be doing their move-a-thon. And so there's all kinds of information here with a nice record keeping sheet if you so choose to use that. We also have a couple examples of kindness weeks here. As Sasha mentioned, she has her example of what she did during the month of February, which you can certainly use as well. But this is just to kind of get your wheels turning and get you thinking about what you might do for your event. And then we just give you a space here to sort of start brainstorming and creating your own information that you might want to use. We also have various incentives here. As Sasha said, not everyone has long hair, so not everyone can cut your hair, but we have a lot of people who have done things like having themselves taped to the wall, duct tape to the wall. There's all kinds of fun stuff that kids really get into, getting slimed and stuff like that. So we have those listed here to give you guys some ideas of things you might want to do. We have some information on promoting it if you choose to use social media, and then a quick timeline. In addition, back over here, we have another very important worksheet. This worksheet would be a worksheet that you would use once you decided you were in and you're going to do the program. And this is something you would want to print out and have available for yourself, because it's a timeline of everything you need to do as you go through the program. So this is a fantastic tool, and I strongly recommend that if you are going to do the program, you want to go ahead and print this out and have this available, and you can kind of jot in your dates as you go through this, and it's very well laid out and very well explained. The last tool that we have on this page is a 5-week planning tool. If you're looking to try to do an HMM event in a shorter time frame, this kind of helps you lay out how you might go about doing that. And again, it's something you can print out and just kind of go down the list, down the checklist, and is a very nice, succinct explanation of creating an event. The one thing I want to mention is on this page, we talked a minute ago about the 2 options for earning money. I know that on some of the past fundraisers, there used to have to be levels that you had to get to before you could accomplish that particular break point and earn that amount of money. The great thing with Health Moves Minds is there are no break points. Whatever amount you collect, you will get that 25% or that 50% of that amount. So if you're doing the 50% plus the additional 10%, if you earn $4,890 in donations, you would get $2,689.50 back to your school. So this just kind of gives you a quick example, those quick examples, so that you can see what that is like. And then this tool right here tells you about all the different options, and Mark's going to talk about that next on this next slide.
The first thing that, as Becky's getting to that slide, what I've noticed many of the Health Moves Minds professionals that have run really successful events, one of their main purposes is to identify whether it's a piece of equipment or a dollar amount, whatever it might be, as their goal. It's a really big motivator and it helps drive that fundraiser. There are some incentives. If a student goes online and raises $25, they are in line for receiving a Health Moves Minds shirt, t-shirt. And then from a school standpoint, if the school raises $500 or more, they receive a banner that they can hang anywhere within their school. And then there's that other nice incentive. If you raise $2,000 or more, you get a SHAPE membership. So I think that those are nice pieces to it. But as we move to the right half of the screen here, this is probably the biggest option that you have. Gopher is not just physical education equipment, right? Its umbrella as a company is much broader than that. And you have an opportunity where, yes, if you raise X number of dollars, you can purchase this kind of equipment for your program, but you have these other options, and they reach into the curriculum arena under Spark. You have STEM equipment and resources. You have the opportunity to work with classroom teachers and allow them to get some things that they could use in their classrooms. Sasha shared the wobbly chairs or flexible seating. And that's a great advocacy piece to your teachers outside of the physical education and health realm. And I do know that there have been people who, as Becky said, have earned what they need, and now they have a surplus of dollars. And what a great way to share that with your fellow colleagues. Let them get some equipment for recess that is a classroom set. Let them pick something that might help them out in their classrooms, such as the wobbly chairs or flexible seating. So those are really good pieces to keep in the back of your mind.
So I mentioned this briefly earlier. There is so much flexibility with Health Moves Minds, and how it is structured and how it's set up for the PE teacher or colleagues of yours to get involved. And you really can develop it, create it to make it your own. These are just some examples. The list is really endless. But my favorite is the change in the school culture, and that I cannot stress enough on what an impact that has made in my school building, in my classroom, in my relationships one-on-one with students. That's always going to be at the top of the list for me. And with that, kindness as the backbone, of course, you're going to have improved behavior. That, the second one on the list. And then every choice or every comment that you make as you're teaching, not just in the 4 lessons that you get from Health Moves Minds, but the next lesson, the next month, are you making a choice based on kindness? And it just, gives them a little check to get back including kindness in all of their decisions. And so it's really inspires the students for the year-long journey. So I'm just so thankful for Health Moves Minds, and thank you for letting me share my example. You're going to have your own whys and hows and things like that, but I just see so much possibility for it, and I encourage everyone to get involved.
I just want to share this last video. This is by Andy Horn, who is the health teacher rapper out of Illinois, and I think this kind of wraps it all up. Oh, that's a bad dad joke. I'm sorry.
Health moves minds, that's something you should know. Helps educate the kids and raise some dough. Here's a great chance for your school. Now listen up, teachers, and get the scoop. Let's go! 2 parts of this. One's education. The second piece of this, that's the fundraising. Easy to use, platform streamlined. Social sharing helps improve the bottom line. Cause the kids in your class deserve the best. Health and wellness is the ultimate test. Know the Health Moves Minds program straight legit. Please quote me, man. Now it's time to commit. In the early grade levels, topics like kindness. Know how you feel, be present. Mindfulness. Add empathy for every sister and brother. Accept differences, appreciate each other. Take care of oneself, learn to cope with the stress. Standards-based lessons, yes, you can assess. Shape America. Teaming up with Gopher. That's a win-win, man. This ball game is over. In the middle school grades, it's about empowerment. Easy made lessons you can implement. Healthy relationships are the foundation. Analyzing influences, communication. Skills and content, any combination. Sign up online, a quick application. Have no doubt this is worthwhile. Cause kids learn to live a healthy lifestyle. Cause the kids in your class deserve the best. Health and wellness is the ultimate test. Know the Health Moves Minds program straight legit. Please quote me, man. Now it's time to commit. Health Moves Minds. Health Moves Minds. Let's go. I'm Mr. H, scholarly rap.
The rest of the information that we share out is really for you to just go through and explore. You'll find teachers sharing information all the way from the high school level on down to elementary. And please, I invite you to, you have access to this, so I invite you to take that time to go through. And without any other questions or comments here, we want to open it up to any questions that you might have. So if you do have questions and you didn't get a chance to post that in the chat box, you're more than welcome to unmute yourself and ask those questions to any of us.
Becky, Mark, and Sasha, in the chat, there has been comments about the Ninja Warrior event photos that were awesome. What a great job you did, Sasha, with your presentation, and how PTOs could work with you to create character words in your Building One idea.
Thank you very much.
I'm going to try to put some of those links in case you need them.
And as she does that, I agree. The PTO PTA is a really great way to increase the involvement within your school, so that you don't have to rely on just yourself. Once you get that group or organization involved with your school, you now increase your volunteer level, you increase the communications that's going out to the rest of the community and students and their families. And I personally think that that is a huge win-win if you have that opportunity or ability, if your PTO, PTA is a 501c3 charitable organization. Any other questions possibly or comments?
And if you have any questions, you can unmute yourself and ask the question verbally if you'd like to. And don't forget, Stephanie Jumps is amazing. She will help you with everything that you need. If there's any questions that you have prior to going to your administration, or while you're in the event or preparing for the event, that's the great thing about clicking and filling out that interest form, is that will get you connected directly to Stephanie, and then you can ask at any time.
Absolutely. She'll walk you through the administrator speak, what to say to your administrator, how to get through that whole process, how to set up that program. Yeah, be sure to reach out to her. We'll see.
I also would like to mention that we have concepts being developed out of New Jersey for higher education. If you are a professor with student teachers going into the schools, or even undergrad at any level, about teaching them about Health Moves Minds, and then preparing them for when they are in service at their own school to have an event at their school.
And we already do have a model in place, in addition to that model growing, and we have universities that are registered this year. So if you are a professor and you have students, we absolutely can share that model with you and how it can benefit your university students as well as schools in your community.
Any other comments or questions? Seeing none, we thank you very much for your time on this Saturday morning. I just can't thank you enough for taking the time.
Yes.
Have a wonderful day, everyone.
Oh, and
Thank
feel
you.
free, if you guys want to use that presentation to use it to present to other folks, you are more than welcome to take it, edit it, put in your own stuff. Feel free, just go to file, make a copy, and you can have your own copy, and feel free to use it.
Spread the word. Thank you.